What is up, everybody, and welcome to another video. In today's video, I am just hanging out flipping my Wraith from EPS. This thing is absolutely wonderful. I love this Balisong so very much. And I have on my body another thing that I love very much. You can actually, here, I'll tilt it back so you can see it. This is, oh, I just slammed my finger down into my Wraith. Wow, that was very smart of me. Anywho, this is a shirt from Assflow, also known as Assassin Flown on Instagram. He is a really cool maker who makes awesome stuff. And this shirt, you can see I'm starting to bleed. There we go, baby. Let's go. I wasn't even flipping that time. Sad. He's a awesome maker who makes incredible stuff, but this is a hand-pressed shirt, including the sleeve. So he actually, like, I forget which, if it's like carved out of wood and then pressed onto there, or if it's just like a different method, maybe rubber or something, but it is hand-pressed, inked, like, beautiful AA design. I really love it. I really want to collaborate with Assflow at some point and actually make, like, a Balisong t-shirt design. Let me know if you guys think that would be cool. I think it would be awesome because Assflow is just an incredible designer, artist, and also flipper. One of the best flippers that I'm aware of in terms of, like, pushing the art of flipping forward as an art form. But anyways, we're not here to talk about all of that stuff today. Instead, we're here to unbox a very interesting item from Hirsch. So this is it, in this case right here. Ooh, I've not actually seen it yet. Brandon gave this to me a bit ago. Oh, wow, it really is a looker. Holy cow. So this is the KUNO from Hirsch, and it is very intensely anodized. I think this is something that's really fun and cool about the KUNO, is that the KUNO is entirely titanium. The only time I've flipped a KUNO before this was when Ethan brought one for Blade Show, and I did like it, but it was weird. I won't lie. So this is beautiful, though. The toxic anodization on the handles, that really high polish, and then this nice, like, Joker-esque splatter ano on the blade. I love being able to kind of, like, play with different anodization types. That's really cool. Also, I like the way it, like, steps down near the front. This is really well machined. This looks incredibly well done. You can see it's pocketed and milled out on the inside. Wow. All right, but I've yet to flip it. So previously, the KUNO, I liked it, but I found the flipping to be strange. So I'm very interested as to what the experience is about to be here. Oh, whoa. Oh my God. Interesting. Okay, so, ooh. Okay, the tolerances are not great right now, but that's likely just a normal problem. Oh, wait, I have my bit right here. Let's check the tightness of everything. That feels pretty tight. I also don't know whether or not this is a prototype or if this is a final version. I also don't know what the hardware is technically supposed to be. I have not been incredibly well informed about this Balisong, unfortunately. So I should definitely acquire more information. Yet not the craziest tolerances in the world. I'm not totally sure why that is. It is a pinsless design where you've got titanium on titanium contact, and then you've also got that system where there's actually a physical pin, kind of like Zen pin nipple, that sticks out. So theoretically, this shouldn't ever really develop handle slap. But it is interesting. Tightened like that definitely does change the flipping ever so slightly. I feel like I want to put some lube on it. I think I'm going to throw some carbon honey on there and see what happens. So yeah, this is very interesting to me. I'm going to flip it a little bit more, and then I'll, like, give you, like, my first thoughts and feedback on it. Because, yeah, so this is a pass-around model, also, so people know. So thank you to Hirsch for including me in your pass-around. And, let's work that lube into there a bit. it might also have bad tolerances just partially because it's dry, because that does happen when things get dry. And it's not to say the tolerances are like horrible. Like the play isn't great, but it doesn't have tap. It's just got wiggle. And wiggle's fine. It's not my favorite, but it's not terrible either. It definitely flips better than it did when I first tried it. This is definitely very, very fun to flip. I am already immediately kind of having it respond in the ways that I'm expecting, except for sometimes. And that would appear to be because I tightened it, I think. You can see, yeah, there's a little bit of catching right there. So I think I over-tightened it. And of course, the other thing to consider here, and so this is something that's a problem with pass-arounds in general, is that you never really know what a knife has been through, how many people have disassembled it, how effed up the everything is from all of the different people playing with it. I don't know how late I am on the pass around, though in the past when I've worked with other people on pass rounds, I generally ask to be last because it usually takes me a while, especially if they want me to make a video on it. You know, it takes me a while to formulate my opinions and kind of get somewhere with it. So this is a shorter time that I'm going to have it on this pass around because I am not last. But I am very interested as to what other people are going to think about it. But yeah, I don't know how many people this has gone through, and I don't know how many disassemblies this has had, so I can't really comment on the assembly. It does appear to have washers, though, which is good. Part of me was afraid that might have come from like someone losing the washers, but that does not appear to be the case. It flips good, though. Like, straight up, this thing feels really great to flip. Immediately, I'm kind of drawn to the idea of, like, my Tsunami, for instance. Pretty quickly, I feel like that sort of stands out to me. But it's lighter. Like, it's not... It is lighter than the Tsunami. The Tsunami's great, but this is different. If anything, it's kind of Squiddy-esque, but, like, better. It feels Squiddy-esque in terms of, like, flipping, maybe. Like, where all of the parts kind of have the same density distribution, but it's really doing a great job of carrying that momentum. And I think one of the things here that's probably leading to that is actually this design with the very long handles. Like, all things considered, these handles are extremely long. And then this blade shape, while very rudimentary, is actually very smart, because what you're doing is you're both elongating the blade shape, so the blade length is almost the same length as the handles. Like, that's a very long length for the blade compared to the handles. And it's relatively thick, and it's made of titanium, so it's light. But here's the thing. Because of this blade shape, you're concentrating the weight right here at about 3/4, like at a good ratio off-center, you know, closer to the pivots. And I think that's a great space to actually concentrate the weight, especially for chaplains. That's going to lead to really great chaplains, and this thing has fantastic chaplains. I don't remember how the original one flipped super well. I just remembered that I wasn't the largest fan of it. I didn't really like the way it chaplined, if I remember correctly. It was kind of strange. It was a little wonky balance-wise. Like, I could just feel that it was off. This does not feel off in any particular way. I'm not used to flipping it, so I'm like trying to go kind of hard right now and push its limits and see what happens when I do that. And so I'm a little more prone to dropping it, but it is very nice feeling to flip. This is very good. A little weird on aerials, I'm noticing. The handles, I mean, parabolic's great, though. I mean, look at that. Ooh, that's great. Aerials are not terrible, but the lack of weight is definitely, it makes it slower than I'm used to when moving through the air. It's almost like it's kind of floating for a second, which is honestly nice. Like, I'm sure this thing might actually be pretty good for, like, scissors. Oh, the timing is weird for scissors because of the weight thing. Yeah, there we go. Oh, huh. Like, yeah. The timing is strange. Do you see that? I don't know if this is coming across on camera, but it's like floaty. Like here, so the EPS Wraith weighs a lot more than this thing, and right there's the speed of that through the air, right? When I like throw like one of those, okay? And if I do a hand-to-hand, whoop, you know, it's almost instantaneous. It just goes right in there. And then here's this guy. It feels floaty. Do you see that? Like it's like, and if I do the other one, yeah, that feels like that took longer. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but either way, it feels slower in the air, which is really interesting and isn't a bad thing necessarily. It does fuck up my timing when it comes to scissors, though not that I'm that great at scissors anyways. But like that is super, super interesting. It feels great to flip. The ricochets are awesome. It's very fast. It gives me that same feeling that the Squiddy, or even now the Squiddy AL, which the review is either out now, because I'm working on it today, so it's either out now or it'll be out sometime soon around this video coming out. But the Squiddy AL definitely feels like a similar-ish analog to this thing. Let's grab the swordfish and see if that also holds true. So, swordfish, right? I wouldn't say so. The swordfish is very different. Swordfish feels almost sluggish because they really did do a good job of concentrating. Sluggish, I mean, in the sense of like ricochets, not in the sense of its actual flipping. If anything, in the air, it's much faster feeling than this thing is. But it feels sluggish in the sense of the ricochets because this thing ricochets insanely fast. Like, look at how I'm able to do that with like very little force because all of my fingers are all being able to do that pretty quickly, similar to how I would with like the Squiddy AL, where I can like pretty quickly bounce between these things. You know, it's a light Balisong. There's not a lot of momentum that I'm stopping. Whereas if I grab my Wraith here, you know, the Wraith, I can do it pretty quickly, but it's taking a lot more effort, and I'm going to get tired. I'm already getting tired a lot more quickly with this thing, and I can't keep that, like, incredible speed up. Whereas with this thing, like, look at that, right? That's great. So that's cool. It does thumb chaplains very well, so I can attest that this thing feels awesome for chaplains. It takes to a chaplain very easily, and is nice about that. It does a palm spin, all right. Kind of overshot it that time. It does an okay palm spin, but the weight is weird, so it kind of overshoots it. It doesn't land in the hand the way I'd like it to. It kind of like floats above the hand. If I wanted it to land in the hand, I'd do like that. You know, that's a little bit more. It's like staying in my palm the whole time. You can see even when I miss it, the bottom handle sort of stays put, whereas this one, I'm kind of having to like really catch that handle in my hand to make it stay put the way I want it to. But it does it once I get used to it. Overall, very good. Better than the original, certainly. Maybe even by far better than the original. I don't know how mean about that I really want to be, but I do really, really like this thing. It ladders extremely well. Wow, that was way better than I was expecting. It did slip out of my fingers at the end, but that was a lot better than I expected from a fully polished. And I can tell you why. That ladder happened better than I expected because the one thing I am noticing is that it's a little uncomfortable on the sides. So this space is so wide. What it's doing is what I'm reminded of by either my original Dalen's 50, the Delta 50. Wait, no, there's no Delta in the 50. It's just the 50. So the 50 from Dalen, or this bad boy right here, the Medusa. This part sort of comes to a tip, right? Like it gets really small. And when you're doing ricochets and chaplains and stuff like that, you can feel that. It sort of digs into your skin. And it's not a bad feeling, but it's not a great feeling either. I don't prefer it. I feel like it maybe adds to the grip somewhat, but I think any channel adds to the grip. You know, it's a similar thing with like the EPS Wraith. Like I sanded in here just a little bit, but with that sanding, you know, this is flat and it doesn't feel that way at all, but it gives me a great amount of grip. Like if I wanted to do a ladder on the Wraith, it ladders pretty damn well because of that hole in the middle, and I'm not having to like feel it dig into me the entire time. And that might be partially because also the G10, but still. So on the other side, though, this one also has a very large speed channel, which I also think is important. With the length of the handles and the fact the entire thing is titanium, removing as much material from the middle of the handle as possible and leaving it to the outside, I think is actually really smart. Because what it's doing is it's letting me still, like, flick it around really quickly, right? Like, it doesn't weigh much, so I'm still moving it really quickly. But because you've taken the weight on the handle and concentrated it at the end, you still have extended that moment of inertia really far out. And so what happens is, weirdly, when it's done correctly like this, you have that level of control of a part that, like, when it starts on an arc, it doesn't want to stop. So it will flow, like when I throw it in the air, it will flow through the air properly, or when I'm doing like a chaplain or something, you know, it'll keep its arc going because it wants to, very badly. But because of the weight distribution, you know, I can still stop it really easily with my fingers because I'm not actually stopping that much weight from moving. Honestly, if there's anything that this kind of reminds me of flipping-wise, it might be the Serif. But maybe if I removed the weights from my Serif, I think that's maybe the most accurate thing. It's really interesting. It's kind of between the Squiddy AL and the Serif in terms of feeling, and that should be pretty impressive to anybody, I think, because, like, I'm genuinely impressed with this thing. This has gone from me being like, oh, I want to see what Rimshi's done with the KUNO. Like, I liked the first KUNO, but it was weird, to, like, this is weird in a way that I really want. You know, it's still not normal, obviously. I mean, it's like you made a swordfish out of full titanium, but you also kind of crossed it with the Serif in terms of, like, construction and quality of machining. But, I mean, goddamn, right? Like, look at this thing go. It rips. It really does. You can fucking rip on this thing in a way that feels comfortable, like my Serif, if that makes sense. It's not perfect. It is wacky. It is very light with a extended moment of inertia. It almost has the problem of the original Calico that I didn't like, but it's not quite there. And the main reason it's not quite there is because of this blade shape. While the blade is really long, there's not a lot of weight at the tip, which is actually good in this case. There's a lot of weight in the middle, but not a lot of weight at the tip, and that means that the blade carries its momentum in a different way than the handles, which is actually a good thing in terms of Balisong design. I think that if you have a tip-heavy blade and then two tip-heavy handles, you end up with a Balisong that's very slow and difficult to change directions. So you need to change that up. If you're going to have a tip-heavy blade, then have mid-heavy handles, and if you're going to have a mid-heavy blade, then you can go for tip-heavy handles. You know, that is just a small thing that can be a problem with Balisongs in general. But I mean, look at this shit. This thing fucking rips. God damn. Ooh. Wait. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Oh, man. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. Ooh. Oh, God. That was so slick. Oh. Cool. Wow. Well, thank you to Rimshi for sending out a KUNO. Let me know how I can buy one. I think I absolutely want to buy a KUNO now because, like, I'm going to be totally honest. When I first saw it, the price tag of it for being just a trainer, I was kind of like, that's a little high. After flipping this, though, this is a great product. I don't even like if they actually come from the factory with this much play, I literally don't care. Because first of all, there's not a blade that I have to worry about like getting really damaged. You know, it's a slab of titanium, and if it gets damaged, that's just an excuse for me to go get it anodized again by my cool friend Solar Flare or whatever. But on top of that, this is really fun. This is really fun. I don't think it has a modular weight system. I could be wrong about that, but I don't believe it does. I don't think it needs it though. Like this thing. Ow! I got my fingernail caught in it. This thing smokes. This smokes. Wow. Oh, I really like it. I feel like this would be my go-to flipper when I have hurt my hand flipping heavier Balisongs too much. Like as we talked about previously, I was obsessed with my Invictus. So like here's my Invictus. I'm still obsessed with this Balisong. The only problem with being obsessed with it is that it is quite heavy. So it takes a lot of force to kind of get going and doing stuff. So what I'll do is I'll like flip it until my hand starts to feel kind of weird, especially my wrist, because you really want to keep yourself from getting RSIs on your wrist, which is a repetitive stress injury when you're flipping, especially if you want to flip long term. And so learning the signs of when you're feeling that happen is the first step. And then taking and flipping a lighter Balisong in the interim is the better way to sort of keep going, because like you could just stop flipping for a while. But if you do that, you know, that could be problematic because like you're going to want to keep flipping, you know, you don't want to get rusty and worse at flipping. You're going to want to keep flipping. And so what I'll often do is I'll either get my squiddy that I made. Look, it's the same one from the video, see? Oh, wow. I'll either get my squiddy out, or I will, you know, just literally have my squiddy AL is the other one that I'll often go with. Or the Tsunami if I'm feeling frisky. The Tsunami is heavier, though, than any of these. So, like, usually it's the squiddy or the squiddy AL if I'm really needing to take a break. But this might become my go-to I want to take a break Balisong. Like, this thing slaps so hard that it would really be a great Balisong for sort of replacing and taking a break. Also, new cat reveal. This is Tanks. Hi, say hi, Tanks. Hello. Hello, Tankies. You're so sweet. Tanks is the shyest cat in the world, so she might show up in videos, or she might never show up again. Who knows? That's just the way the world crumbles cookie. Crumble cookies. Eat a cookie now. Eat a cookie. Tanks. Eat a cookie, Tanks. Thank you, Tanks. So, anywho, yeah, that is the KUNO. This thing, wow. I really don't know what else to say. I'm very impressed. Thank you, Remshi, for sending this over. Thank you, Brandon, for receiving it for me, and like getting that together. I've been going through some stuff on my end. It's all personal stuff that I'm going through, but it's made working on videos a little bit hard. However, we're getting through that. We're making progress. Things are going good. So, yeah, expect more videos in the future. We've got some really, really neat plans coming up for stuff that I think you guys are going to be very excited about. So, yeah, anywho, that is that. This is this. Thank you, Remshi. Hit me up. I really want to buy one of these now. God, that is a beautiful Balisong. I'm just thinking about like how I could make one of these so pretty. Can you imagine like a sunset fade on the blade and then blackened handles? Like you could do like the cold blackening where it's like shiny black handles with a sunset fade on the blade. You know, so anywho, yeah, that's pretty much it for the moment. I hope y'all enjoyed this little look into the KUNO by Remshi. And, yeah, I guess I'll see you later. Peace.